What's going on, guys? This is Fusebox, and today I'm going to do another spotlight in Raid Shadow Legends. And this hero is it's one of the ones that I just kind of fell in love with. I love unique heroes. I love heroes that have kits that are just different from everyone else. You probably figured that out if you've been watching some of my videos. But this guy's special. When I pulled him, I got super hyped. So Elder Skarg, he's a barbarian. He's excellent in faction wars right off the bat. He has an amazing kit, like nobody else. He actually synergizes against other legendary heroes, which makes him really fun to play with in the arena. He's good in the arena, but it's so fun to use him. Well, let's real quick. He's an attack champion, so you're gonna kind of build him out like you always would with an attack champion. You're gonna go with this is not that high of attack. I actually opted for some HP percentage rolls, and I did this because you'll see in a minute he does some provoking. He takes some of the hits for you in the waves, and I use him in a lot of content. I don't want him always being targeted and taken out. Still, I could do with more attack value, but he needs crit rate. This guy does hit very hard, and accuracy. You're gonna want to land all his. He does all kinds of debuffing, so you're gonna want to land those. Part of the reason that I probably missed on some of the attack is I did push him into a savage set. He does really good damage. His A1 is a strong hit. His A2 is like an amazing hit. So you're going to want to do damage. Ignoring defense with the savage set, that's just a bonus. An extra 25% of defense ignored. Basic idea is always I got an attack chest on him, speed boots. I've got crit damage gloves, and I got my crit through all my pieces. Looking for speed where I could. Attack ring, crit damage necklace, and a itty bitty accuracy banner. Now I will say, the next time there's a event for rolling up gear, I'll probably try to fit him into a 6-star accuracy banner, and that means I could take these off and put a cruel set on him, or if I'm feeling like he needs it, an immortal set to keep him alive. But I'm going to try to up my attack as well as get rid of these accuracy gear. But he's built well. He's built solid. And let's get into his kit, because this is like no other. Such a simple A1, but it does so much. One hit, he attacks one enemy at single target. It does hit good. It places a 30% increased speed if it's a critical hit. If it's not a critical hit, it increases his crit rate. So the buff you get depends on if you hit a crit, and it makes perfect sense. It basically is upping your game for if you are getting crits, it speeds you up to do more damage. If you're missing crits, it gives you crit rate to do more damage. So it gives you the buff that you need to actually put out more damage as you go. A2. This hit is a hard hitting hit. It's much more than that though. It attacks 3 times, but it places an extra hit for each buff or debuff on the target, up to 3 extra hits. Now that means you could have an increased attack on an enemy. You could put weaken and defense down, and that would count as 3. A buff counts and a debuff counts. So as long as there are 3 buffs or debuffs, he'll do 6 hits on the enemy. It places HP. If he hits with all 3 of those extra hits, then he'll put HP burn on the entire enemy team for 2 turns, True Fear on the entire enemy team for 1 turn. This can really save the day in arena. It makes for an excellent HP burn strategy on the spider. And that's not all. At the end, he steals all the buffs from the target after the attack. So if they've got unkillable on them, say Skull Crown's up, he can just take that off, put it on him, like wipe her out. It's an amazing move. One thing to note, if you don't land all 6 hits, in one case I found where that could be tricky. If you kill an enemy on the second or third hit, it will not count as hitting them with all 6 hits. That's something you want to watch out for. We may get to see that when we go into the arena. Then he's got an A3, Elder's Clarion. So he increases his defense for 3 turns. That's absolutely awesome. It places fear on all enemies for 1 turn. If they have a block damage buff, he'll place True Fear. And then if they have a shield buff, he'll place Decreased Speed. All legendaries get provoked. All of these, everything you're seeing in his kit, remember, there's no percentage chance. This is all going to happen as long as you have the accuracy. So that is really cool. When it comes to books, look, where you're going to be using this guy, look at the amount you get. This is 30% extra damage. I definitely think this is worth booking. It's probably the least important, but he actually is a damage dealer. I would take the A1. The A2 is just the same. It hits even harder, and 6 hits on this move. That's a huge amount of damage. I actually think you definitely want to book out. Getting this down to a 3-turn cooldown, you could be throwing these debuffs out all day long. So this is somebody you do want to go ahead and book out. If you're going to use him, that's the way to get the best effect out of him. So he also has a passive. Receives 15% less damage from legendaries. Totally awesome. That works in Arena. That's good for Faction Wars, Doom Tower. All of these have a lot of legendary heroes you're going up against. 15% mitigated damage. It's like having a small strengthen buff on all the time. So that's going to help him stay alive with those provokes that he's throwing out. He's going to provoke any legendary that's out there. It also increases... he inflicts 15% of the... He inflicts damage equal to his attack when he's attacked by legendary champions. It's kind of like a reflect damage type of mechanic here. It doesn't do huge damage. It can't be a crit, but it's guaranteed extra damage anytime he's hit by a legendary. Remember, he's going to provoke every legendary hero he comes across, and he's going to mitigate damage and then reflect his attack value back at him. So he does have an aura for arena battles. It gives 30% crit to everybody. I suppose if you were building a team 100% around him, you could get that and build your whole team with 70% crit, giving you room to up their damage some more. Typically you're going to want a speed lead, but if you have a real tanky team and he's a part of it, that's your call there. I'll show you my masteries, but my masteries. So these are basically, for my use, I use him everywhere. So I use him in Arena, I use him in Doom Tower, Faction Wars, even in Dungeons. So I kind of have an Arena type build on my offense tree. Shield Breaker, obviously my crit damage, increasing his speed as he kills people. Even with those low cooldowns, his A2 and A3 are both 3-turn cooldowns. Cycle of Violence kind of makes... It's almost like wearing a reflex set without wearing the set. So I took that. I did take Opportunist because he lands fears all the time and True Fears. This increases his damage by 12%. That's a really big buff compared to some of these other ones that, 5% at full health, 5% at 40% health, 12% if they're... You'll see how many fears he puts out. So that's a really good move for him. I took Kill Streak, extra damage, down into Helm Smasher just to increase that damage. There were no other real good options here, so I took Methodical so his A1 would hit harder as he uses it. And now, obviously in Arena, if you're really using him there, you could probably come down this tree and into Retribution and Deterrence. Try to get those extra counterattacks in. I wanted the extra accuracy. You saw he's still in accuracy gear at the moment. So I took all 3 in the tree on accuracy. I did take Arcane Celerity. This guy throws out so many buffs as debuffs. As those debuffs wear off, he's going to get 10% turn meter. Definitely a good way to keep him cycling and moving fast. Evil Eye, like my favorite ability in all of these. And Master Hexer, again, he's debuffing constantly. Might as well have some of those land longer. It won't work on Provoke or Fear, though. Honestly, the best reason for this is if you're using him on an HP burn strategy on the Spider, which is such a fun team to build. And we're going to go ahead and start running him through some things, and we'll kind of run straight through him, just talk about what he's doing, because he's so good everywhere. We'll go to the Arena at the end here. Let's start with Spiders. I have a very fast team that can do this in under a minute, but this team is funner. It takes a little bit longer. I've got stuns, I've got freeze just to control spiders, protection from Valkyrie. This guy's going to land speed down, attack down, and defense down. I have to have 3 debuffs for the HP burn to work. So here we go. Basically, I'm waiting on the 3 debuffs to land on the spider. And then I usually have to let this spider take its first turn and then let the HP burns do all their work. It's a guaranteed win every time. It just takes like, I don't know, a minute and a half, 2 minutes, somewhere in there. But it's fun to watch. So we've got all our debuffs up. There's the HP burn. Unfortunately, this is a faster fight if that happens after the spider heals on his first turn. But it's all good. Look at the damage just ticking away up there. It just constantly ticking all the way. Every time one of these spiders takes a move, even if they're stunned or frozen, they're going to take that damage. So now that the spider's taking this move, it's really time to kind of reset, put that HP burn back out. This is another reason I like Cycle of Violence, where I can get back to that HP burn really quick. And there it is. And this should kill the spider. And unless those spiderlings end up dying, we should kill that spider pretty easy. But what a fun team. As far as like who you could use, anybody that can throw out stuns or freezes could take the place of Achak the Winderin. Also Seal of the Drakes, which we're all going to get her. She's great at stunning. You got to get 3 debuffs out there somehow. It just so happens Stag Knight can do 3 on his own. But anybody you have to put debuffs on that spider, even a poisoner, would work. As far as Valkyrie, I've done this with Milga Steelgirdle. I've done it with Drop Ghoul. You just need heals or a lot of shields, and Miscreated Monster could do it. His problem is he likes to kill spiderlings, so you want to be careful. If you kill them, they don't take those burns. So, I mean, you know, that's a quick fight, but it's a fun fight. Look at that damage. That's, I mean, 7 million just from HP burns. Fun to watch. Fun to watch. I'll say real quick, he's the wrong affinity there, and it just doesn't matter. He just flies right through it. And just let's show him in a regular dungeon. It won't take long. He's ready to go. Same thing. He's going to be throwing. Now, here we're watching him in real content. There, he's going to put fear on everybody. Like, anytime that they have, now that they have all these buffs up, he'll put HP burn down. If these were legendary, like if we had the faction wars open and they were legendary heroes mixed up here, he would be provoking every one of them. And as he provokes, he puts that shield on himself, or the increased defense, to help protect him for 3 rounds. It's a completely amazing kit. It's like a smart kit. He increases his speed because he's hitting crits. I'm over 100% crit rate, and if I were missing crits, he would just boost his crit with that same move. And that's his A1. He could end up with both of those skills if you put him at like 80% crit rate. If you missed one, he would take the crit rate buff, and then the next hit he would take the speed buff. So he can self buff really well. Let's speed it back up. So we're not going to get to see the provokes without legendary champions, but the HP burns going out, the fears going out. It's going to keep us from Apothecary can't heal when he has a fear on him, or may not be able to heal. And when it's a true fear, these guys are not buffing up enough to get us that true fear very often. But if it was a true fear, once they miss their turn, it puts it on cooldown. That's the difference between fear and true fear. But Seal of the Drakes is stunning. He's throwing out all these fears. We've got debuffs going on for days. He's just an amazing... He's like part control and part damage dealer. Let's watch his damage. Here he goes. I mean, that was 6 hits. However, I think only 5 landed at like 20,000 apiece. So, on the dragon, what does he bring? He brings massive damage. Let's watch. Every time he comes around, everybody else is going to do their job. But here he goes, what, 31,000? He doesn't even need War Master procs to do big damage. Clearly our Poisoner is going to do a ton of damage. And Royal Guard is going to get a slam or 2 in and do a ton of damage. But we should should be dead even with. I have an amazing build on Seal of the Drakes, but he should be able to keep up with her and beat. These guys are all built very well. He's not in a weak team. I'm not gonna pretend he is. So he did solid damage, got us through, lots of control along the way. Very useful in any content. The one place I don't see him go, he can come into Fire Knights. He's not going to get that 6-hitter because when the shield's down, you can't really debuff the boss, so it will be a 3-hitter, but that's still useful. He can easily help get you to the boss. He's a neutral affinity. No major use other than just helping you get there, really. Ice Golems, he's the wrong affinity on stage 20. Probably going to get the least out of him there. So let's see if we can find a couple of arena battles. See if we can show off what he does. Win or lose, we want to show off what he does. Alright, so we kind of want to see legendaries. Like here, we've got Arbiter, we've got Sir Nick, we've got Martyr. This could get nasty. Tanky team. Here we go. We're going to bring some bombs for debuffs, basically. We got debuffs coming from him to help use our moves. Arbiter's going to speed us up. And we're really going to focus on him. So I'm just going to race through all our stuff. We're going to boost up, throw out some bombs. Alright. So I can actually do this right now. This is the one where I can steal that attack up, or I could steal that shield and that attack up off of Martyr. Place HP burn and True Fear on everybody else. It's guaranteed. Except for that. Remember I mentioned, if you don't get 6 hits, it doesn't work. We killed her before we got to our 6th hit. That's the only bummer with him, is he hits hard. Not that that's a bummer, but he does hit hard. So he kind of killed her before he got use out of it. Let's just see if we can get back around to him. This is over. We'll go into another one, see if we can find a tankier team. Maybe one that we'll even lose to, but just be able to show him off. Because I'd like to show his provoke. Alright, well, we got Iron Brago and Martyr, Vergis. This is going to be a tanky team. Maybe it'll drag out long enough to see what he can do. Alright, we're the same thing as always. Set up our show with a couple of bombs everywhere. Now this time, let's go ahead and provoke all the legendaries. And on top of that, we're going to place Fear on everybody. So now these legendaries can do nothing. They can't use their counterattack, can't use their defense up. Let's go ahead and debuff them. And there's so many buffs and debuffs going on that when he comes back around, he will be able to steal those buffs. And this is pretty much over anyway. He'll steal those buffs. If he would have lived, we would have placed HP burn on everybody, as well as Fear. Like, he's super cool. For a single target damage dealer, he's affecting the whole team constantly. And there's really just not that many teams in here. They have like really high. You're getting the idea. He's so fun in there, especially when you're outmatched. That's when he really shines. That provoke is clutch for keeping all the legendaries off of you. Clearly in Doom Tower, all my keys are used up, but if I beat, that's the one I'm on. So we'll just, these are all legendaries. It's perfect reason to bring this guy along. I won't slow it down. We'll just kind of watch him go through. We know what he's going to do now. He's going to throw out provoke on all the legendaries. He's got fear on everybody. That fear is just a chance that their moves won't work. The provoke is a guarantee that their moves won't work for one round. All they can do is A1 against him with increased defense. So now that moves out, we got Clarion Call. Oh, it was already back up. See, he gets back around to it quick, especially with that cycle of violence. Alright, so if you've got Elder Skarg, hopefully you enjoy him as much as I do. He plays differently from everybody else. He's specifically tailored to take down legendary heroes, which is super cool. You can use him almost anywhere. You could always throw this guy in a frost set with those provokes, try to get extra CC out of him. There's a lot of ideas. I go for damage. He does a lot of damage, but let me know what you guys think. Remember to like, subscribe, drop some comments below. Tell me what you do with him. Do you take him in arena? I gotta be honest, I have a speed team and I really don't use him that often unless I'm having fun, but that is why I love him so much. He is fun. So just let me know what you guys do with him, what you think, and until next time, enjoy the grind.